This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So let's continue with our discussion on variables. Now, yesterday we have seen a dictionary variable, simple variable, and two variables at a time. Now, sometimes what happens is we can also create a list variable. So list variable will have number of items inside it. For instance, you are creating a list of fruits. Now in fruits, you might have many fruits, like you have mango, orange, banana, right? Or avocado, whatever the list. So in that scenario, under one list, you can mention multiple items. And again, inside each item, if you want, you can store the child variable. That means, for example, you may have a list of cars, so you can go with Mercedes. Now in Mercedes, you may have different models. Then you may have BMW, different models. Then you might have Nissan, different models like that, right? So first let's create a simple list, and then within a list, we can add dictionaries, right? So let's do an example. Let me log it into our master node. One moment. Okay, all right. So yesterday we have created two variable files. This time I'm going with vars3.yml. So we need to start with three dashes at the beginning, dash followed by hosts. I want to execute it any host of your choice. For example, I'll be going with mhost1, right? Then gather underscore facts. I wanted to set it to no or false, whatever. Then I want to create variables. Now here, whatever is the list name, so maybe the list name is cars, fruits, or whatever. So in this case, I'm just giving the name as list, right? Now inside list, you have three items. So you have to give a dash and the item number 1. Then I don't have any sub item, so I'll go with again dash item number 2. I don't have sub item, so again dash item number 3. Like that, I'll be going with three items inside it, right? After that, I need to start the task. So let me just come below and let's come up here and put tasks field. Inside task field, first of all, the description, that is name. I'll say printing the list variable, right? Then we have to go with debug module. Why we use debug module? To print messages. So we have to use message block here. So you can just type a message followed by Jinja 2 expressions. I'm going directly. So let me start with 2 colons. Then double parenthesis, give a space, name of your variable. Done. Then let's give 3 dots. Let me save and quit. So as usual, the first thing what we are going to do is checking the syntax. So I'll say Ansible playbook for vars3.yml syntax check. So there is no problem inside it. That's good. Let's repeat the command without syntax checking this time. So you see, it went on and listed all the items what you have kept under list. Now let us say that I don't want to print the whole list. I just wanted to print under list one item. See over here, this is my list, and inside it I have three indexes. We call it as index, the numbering. So first index is denoted as 0 index. Next index is denoted as 1 index. Next index will be denoted as 2. So indexes always start with 0. So first value, if you want to print, you have to go with 0. Second value, if you want to print, you have to go with 1. Third value, if you want to print, you have to go with 2. Is my voice audible, guys? Can you hear me? Okay, fine. So last time what I have showed you is list variable. Now, as I told you, under list, you can go with multiple options. For example, you are trying to give information like this. For instance, you wanted to say that I have cars. Now, inside cars, I have Mercedes, right? For example. Now, in Mercedes, I have different variants or some details I wanted to give. For example, I wanted to tell more about Mercedes. For example, here I wanted to say class, which is the class. For example, the class is E-class, something like that, right? And maybe I wanted to mention one more thing, variant, which variant? So maybe petrol variant or diesel variant or electric variant, whatever it might be. So you wanted to define more features under one variable. So what we can do, we can create a main variable under which the lists can be created. Inside one thing, you can add multiple options related to it. Like you see over here in my example, I'm creating a variable name called user. Inside it, I'm giving a list variable name equals to Steve. Now I wanted to declare more information about Steve. What's the age of Steve? What's the email address? What's the salary? What's the designation? So you can create more options by using these things inside it. So when you give dash, it represents that there is a list and there is a child's inside it. So you can make as many childs as you want, age, designation, salary, and blood group, email address, all that thing, right? So let me show you how to create this kind of uh, variable, which is called as mixed variable. So mixed variable is nothing but which consists of list plus your dictionary variables. So let us create one more variable file. I'll go with vars 4.yml. Again, we'll start with three dashes. Then we'll give hosts and mhost1 gather underscore facts. You can say no or you can say false. Anything is fine. Under variables, I wanted to start with name, and the name I want to mention is Steve. Then I have a child inside it, which is age. Suppose I'll mention the age is 35, right? Something like that, whatever you want to mention. Now I have one more. Suppose I have cars. So in the cars, maybe I have different cars available, or maybe it's an employee information. So my main variable name is employee, right? So inside employees, I have many options. So I made a small mistake here. I should have started with users, some main variable name, right? And the correct syntax would be like this. So sorry for that mistake. So suppose here you have started with employee. So first employee name and age. Now I have one more employee. Then what to do? I'll go with one more option, that is name. Indentations should be perfect. There should not be irregular spaces, something like that. So I'll go for name, and maybe this time I'll go with Tina, and I'll go with age, something like that. Same way you can go with as many things as you want. Now, next thing we want to go is with tasks. Again, spaces should be perfectly taken. The task I wanted to mention name, description, printing, mixed variables. Then we'll go with debug module, and in debug module we'll use message block. and I'll just going to call both the values for the first time. So between two inverted colons, commas, we have to go with curly braces, call the variable name, that is user, give a space and close it. Finally, we need to go with three dots. Even if you don't end it with three dots, there's no problem. Now we'll do a syntax check. Ansible playbook where's 4.yml syntax check. As you can see, it says there is no syntax issue. So let's go back and run the playbook. So you see, as soon as I call it, it has printed all the values in this fashion. Okay, all right. Now, maybe I'm not interested to view all. What I wanted to do is I just wanted to see first index. Then what to be done? Let's go to the file, and over here you can say users within a bracket. Which index? Maybe zero index. When we go for it, you see zero index has been printed. Now let us say in zero index, if I wanted to go with one particular string, either name or age, then what to do? I have to use dot notation and mention what you are looking for. Maybe I'm looking for name variable inside it. So you see, from zero block, it has got the name variable. Same way, if you go and change it to age, then you'll see that it is going to print that particular block what you have mentioned. Now we can do one more thing, guys. Like suppose I don't want, so sorry, I don't want the variable to be declared in playbook. Maybe I have a separate file, and in that file I want to declare variable. While I am executing the playbook, I want my playbook to go to that file, get the variable names from that file. Maybe it happens, guys, that one variable I wanted to use in multiple playbook. So instead of declaring the variable in every playbook, you can create a separate file. In that file, you can mention uh, the variables, and that file can be used by many playbooks. So my work is shortened, isn't it? So what I'll do over here is I'm going to create a separate file. Maybe the name is varfile.yml, and inside it I'll create the same set of variable. So let's create a file. I'll say vim var file dot yml. Okay, now inside it I'm going to start with three dashes, and over here we'll start with the variable users, or maybe I can start right, no problem. So we'll go with users, and over here we'll start with variable name equals to Steve, age equals to 35. Then I have one more, so I'll again give a dash, name equals to, sorry, Tina, and age equals to 30. If you want, you can end it with three dots. If not, also there is no problem. So what's the location of this file? In root, I have a file called var file.yml. So my requirement is when I run this fourth file, or maybe I'll copy vars4.yml with a new name, vars5.yml. So what I want is in vars5.yml, when I execute the playbook, it must refer to that file and it must execute it. So how can I tell my playbook to go and read that variable from particular file? We have to pass one parameter here called vars_file, and you have to give a dash followed by full address, or if it is present in the same location, just give the file name. But I recommend giving full address. Maybe I don't know from where we are executing this, so giving full address would be a better option. So what I'll do, I'll just say vars_file. Now I have to give a dash, and the location is in slash root. The file name is varfile.yml. No spelling mistake should be there, right? That's it. Let me save and quit, or maybe I can come up over here and I wanted to read all the variables. Now let's check the syntax. I'll say Ansible playbook for vars. Oh, did I made a change in, oh, vars5.yml. That's perfect. Hyphen hyphen syntax check. Hmm. It says I made some mistake. Okay, here is the mistake in syntax. It's not vars file, it is vars files. So that's the mistake I did. Checking syntax is always helpful. So now there is no problem. Let me run the playbook without syntax checking. Okay, so you see it went on to that file. It got the variables. Now same file address I can use in multiple files. Whichever file, whichever playbooks I'm creating, I can just refer it over here. Now suppose one more thing I'm doing here is uh, I'm creating a user, for instance. Now while creating a user, I want the variable to be prompted. Okay, for example, you wanted to ask a question to the user who is executing the playbook, that tell me what you want me to do, or what is the name you are looking for, what name user you want to create, or what password you wanted to type, like that. So here in place of variables, you can pass this parameter vars_prompt. So when you go for vars_prompt, it is going to ask you a question that what you want me to do. So we have to start with name. So again, it's a mixed variable containing list and dictionary together. List always start with dash. So inside it, the first value is name, and I'm going to store with a value called var so that that variable is to be created. Prompt what message you want to display. Private equals to no. What is that private equals to no? I'll explain you in a short while. So let's create a new file. So let's go for vars6.yml. We'll start with three dashes, giving a space dash followed by host. What's the name? Maybe I'm host3. Gather_facts. No. Vars_prompt. What is the name? I'll say anything with what name you want to create variable. I'm saying var. Then after that, you have to put prompt to ask a message. For example, I'll say type some value, right? And private, I'm not giving as of now. We'll give in a short while, right? So let's come up over here and let's declare tasks. Okay, let me put it at the beginning to have a proper values. Okay, the tasks I wanted to go again the same thing, name, description, prompting a variable, right? We'll go with debug module and two inverted commas, start with parentheses and the variable name. Now, if you want, you can end it with three dashes. I'm leaving it. Let me now do Ansible playbook var6.yml. So I did not do the syntax check, I'm sorry. But let me type something. For example, I type Ansible. Did you see it is getting printed on my screen? No. Why? Because I have not set private equals to no. By default, private is enabled in configuration file. So whenever we type anything in prompt, it is not going to display. Consider you are taking a password and obviously you don't want that password to be printed while we type. So private will be by default yes. That means whatever we are typing must not be displayed on the screen. So you see, uh, why it has told hello world, whereas I have typed Ansible. One second, guys. Did I made any mistake? No, I think I have done everything correctly. Indentation space problem is there. Okay, maybe that spaces has created an issue. YAML strictly asks us to go with spaces. Okay, let me try now. So when you are not able to print a message properly, by default it will go for hello world. So I did not type hello world. Hello world is a default message. If you don't put anything, it automatically takes hello world. Let me show you that in debug module. If I go to Ansible doc and not yes Ansible doc debug module, so it might tell us here that hello world is the default message what it is going to print. Yeah, over here the default message it might print if there is a problem in calling the variable is hello world. Okay, so let me just check it out. What's the mistake I have done in var6.yml? Host is proper. Is there is an indentation problem in tasks? No, I think that is also correct. Yes, I made a mistake. See, when we call the debug module, debug has a child what I have to mention. You know what's the mistake I did? Message block I did not pass. In the debug itself, I told that go with a message. There's the problem. So I hope now it works. Let me type Ansible. So you see, as I type Ansible, it is printing Ansible. So where's the mistake I did? After debug, the option debug is a module, and the option I have to use is message. So I forgot to use MSG. That's the reason when I call debug module, by default it is printing hello world. Anyway, now let us say that I don't want it to be private. I want the message to be printed on the screen. So the next thing I have to do is private set to no. Now when I execute this fellow, it asks a question and I'll type Ansible. So you see this time the characters are getting printed on my screen. This is the way how we have to uh, go with this concept, guys. Okay, now let us say that you are trying to create a user and you wanted to get a username. So what you can do, same thing. I want you to try this on your own. It's absolutely the same thing. So here what I'm doing is I'm telling name equals to username, prompt, enter a username, private, no. In task, instead of debug module, I'm using user module. You remember in the ad hoc command, I showed you how to create a user. In that, only one compulsory flag is there, name. In name, you have to use this particular thing. Okay, let's do it. Let us create vim user dot yml. So we'll again start with three dashes, then the host on which you want to do. For example, I want to do it on mhost3, right? Gather underscore facts. I don't want to waste the time in collecting facts because I know it is Red Hat and what's the module I have to use. Then the next thing, we will ask the questions where's underscore prompt. Now inside it, I have to start with the name of the variable. So I'll say username, that is the variable what I'm going to create. Then message prompt, type a username, right? Then private set to no. Now I'll be going with tasks. Okay, so in task, I'll be going first of all the description, name, creating a user. Second thing, which module you want to use. So I'm going to use user module. See, in user module, the important thing what we have to mention is the name of the user. So the name of the user I'm going to call from the variable. So what's the variable we have created? Username, right? And the state, do you want to create it or remove it? So I'll say state present. That's it. Now you can use three dots to stop this play. So same way, if you have multiple plays, after that you have to again start with same dash host, all these things you have to create. So multiple plays you can create in a single playbook. So let us do a syntax check. Ansible playbook user.yml. Let's see. Oh, it got executed. I have to do syntax check. I made a mistake. Hyphen hyphen syntax check. So no problem. Now let's execute it. Username, I'll say qdef, for example. So it says it is successful. How to test it? You can say Ansible go to mhost3 and run an ad hoc command. So by default command module is set. So I just need to say hyphen a id qdef. So it will go and test whether qdev user is there on mhost3 or not. See, it says yes, it is there. It is printing the user IDs and all. Maybe you want to remove a user. Then what to do? Go back to your playbook, and over here, if you are removing it, you need to say state equals to absent. And one more thing you have to put remove equals to yes hyphen R. If you don't say remove equals to yes, then mailbox and home directory will stay. See again for this, if you have any confusion, just go to Ansible doc user module and simply go to bottom of the explanation, and here you are going to get lots of option to do this activity over here. Right? Example. So you need to add description, user module name, comment, and you have to say state equals to absent or present, remove equals to yes. That's what we have done. Now, if I do a syntax check, first of all, there's no problem. Let's execute the playbook. It asks for the user. I'll say qdep. So it goes to mhost3. Oh, I should have changed the message instead of creating, deleting. Anyway, so you see it says successful. Now go back and check it out. Does that user exist? It must come in red because as the user is not available, it is deleted. The response we'll be getting is in red color. That means there is no such user available on that machine. All right. Now we have the next section, which is called as Ansible facts. So we talk about the Ansible facts. Facts, as I told you, are nothing but information about your client machine, whichever you are connecting. So normally by a command line also, you can gather the facts and check what is inside it, or you can enable, disable the facts by using Ansible underscore facts. Facts can also be collected by a module called setup. So if I take you to Ansible doc and setup module, you will find here that this module will automatically call by playbook to gather useful variables and remote host informations kind of thing. So inside it, we can use some filtering. You can go with subsets, like you are only wanted to see minimum information, hardware information, network information, virtual information, or you want to see all information. So we can use that subset, or you can use some filters, what exactly you are looking for, like grep command. So in grep, how do you filter the output? Same way, filters will also help us. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Let's see how can I gather all the facts using a simple command called setup or module called setup. So any machine whose facts you want to gather, you can say Ansible for mhost1. The module I wanted to execute is setup. So as you say setup, it goes to that machine and gather all the information about that particular machine. Let me use more option to pause the output at first page. So you see it has started collecting the facts. Now guys, I told you in the last class that there are something called Ansible defined variables also. So in this output, you'll get all those important variables information. Like you have Ansible underscore facts. This is the mother variable that collects all the information. Inside it, there is sub variable which you can target. Like suppose this is your dictionary variable. Inside dictionary, you can have a list variable or sub dictionaries. So here there is one more sub dictionary, Ansible all IPv4 address. So it is only going to show you IPv4 address. Inside it, again, you have two indexes. This is zero index, this is one index, like that. Then you have one more category of dictionary, Ansible All IPv4 v6, or you have Ansible App Armor, something like Ansible Date or Ansible Architect. You want to check Ansible Date, Ansible BIOS version, right? Similarly, if you go little below, you will find more options. Like over here, you can see I have disks information SDA1, SDA2, SDA3, right? Ansible devices. This is one of the variable used a lot to check your hard disk or inside it the partitions detail. For example, we have SDA2 or SDA1. SDA1, it is telling you what is the size of SDA1, how many sectors does it have, total size of the sector, where it is starting, where it is ending, what is the ID of the partition, right? UUIDs. Same way SDA2, it might tell you same detail. SDA3, same detail, right? And SR0, so it tells you that this is a DVD or CD-ROM, right? Like that, many information it is going to tell you, right? Lots of detail, host name, which family this Linux belongs to. Is it Red Hat family, SUSE family, or what? Like over here, it might be mentioning that it is Red Hat related or other things. Okay, fine. So let's do more filtering over here. Let us say that I wanted to gather this information in a playbook. So let's create a playbook to gather facts and print it. So we'll go with vim facts.yml. Okay, same story, start with three dashes, right? Then you can give a dash and start with hosts. On which host you want to do that? Maybe mhost 4 this time, right? And as we wanted to collect the facts, you need to say gather underscore facts equals to true. See, by default in your configuration, gathering facts is enabled. So you don't have to mention true here if in the configuration it is already there. In the configuration file, if facts collection is enabled, automatically when you run the playbook, the facts will be collected. So typing here gather facts is not required, right? Anyway, just to show you, I'm typing it. Then the tasks, what you want to do. So name displaying facts. To display anything, we have to go with debug module, right? And in debug module, we have to use message option. So guys, in message option, I need to call a variable what is gathering the facts. So what is the default mother variable I showed you? Ansible underscore facts. See, just now when we went with all the facts, the mother variable that came at the beginning was Ansible underscore facts. Inside it, you have sub variables, indexes, all that, right? So I wanted to say that go with Ansible facts, right? Then you can stop with three dashes, or if you don't even stop it, it's fine. So let's say Ansible playbook facts.yml syntax hyphen check. So everything is fine. Let's repeat it and enter. So it is going to print the whole facts collected by this uh, playbook. So all the facts were collected over here. Let's say I don't wanted to collect all the facts. Inside my mother variable, I just wanted to target this second option inside it. So how can I go only for uh, the sub variable, like the list variable we have seen? So what you can do, you have to use dot Ansible facts, after that dot, and the next variable, the child variable name inside it. So let's go back to our file, and here I'll put our second variable after dot. That means inside mother variable, you are only interested to see all IPv4 addresses. Let me save and quit. Now repeat your playbook. Instead of displaying all the facts, this time it is going to go and target only that child variable or the dictionary, sub-dictionary variable what we have. So this is dictionary within a dictionary. So it printed this thing. Maybe I'm interested to only go with zero index. I don't want it to go. See, there are two values. So first value will be at zero index. Second value will be at first index. I just want to print zero index value. So let me go to facts, and over here, I need to use bracket, and I'll say zero index. So you see it is printing only zero index value. So like that, you have a mother variable inside a child variable, and each child may have a list. So you can go for that list and which index you are interested. You can print according to that. If you wanted to go with another variable, like you have Ansible node name. So this node name is nothing but host name. If you type Ansible underscore node name, then you see it is going to print only the host name. So these are simple exercises, guys, what you can do. Let me just say Ansible on mhost3. I wanted to go with setup module. Now inside it, I'll go with grep command to just go with a variable called Ansible underscore node name. So what it prints, let's see. See, Ansible underscore node name. This is printing what? This is printing the exact node name what I'm using. If you want to see all variables, guys, just give Ansible underscore star. So it is going to print all the variable names over here. So whichever variable you are interested, you can go with that particular option. See, these are all your variable: Ansible swap free MB, Ansible swap total MB, Ansible system Linux, right? Same way you might go with Ansible family, right? Ansible IPv4 address, IPv6 address, right? These are all your variables, what you can call Ansible adapter name, domain name, kind of thing. You can gather the information in this fashion, guys. Okay, so many examples are there, guys, in your manual. So I would request you to go through that. Now, suppose you are interested to view devices information. Okay, so let me modify little bit our facts variable file. So here I wanted to see information about Ansible underscore devices. That's the variable what I want to display. All right. So when I go for this variable, you just run the playbook. It is going to display all the disks and their partitions connected to your system. See, whenever you are creating a new partition in a disk, you must gather the disk information first. So you see under Ansible devices, it is showing me that there is a disk. This is child variable. Now inside child variable, you have some sub variables. Those are holders, host, links, IDs. Same way you have uh, SDA1. In SDA1, you have size. So if you want to go with more granularity, you can just go with next option, Ansible devices SDA. Now inside SDA partition. So if you just see the output, we have SDA. Inside SDA partition. In partition SDA1. In SDA1 you want to go with sizes. So maybe you can say Ansible devices SDA. In SDA partition, right? In partition SDA1. In SDA1 size. So like that you can mention these things so that it can go and show you SDA1 what is the size. This is called filtering of your variables and getting exactly what you want to get. So as I talk about filtering, you can use two options here. Gather subset followed by whatever option you are looking for. So if you say gather subset network, so it might stress or target to gather the information about network only. Or you say hardware, entire hardware it is trying to collect. Then suppose you want to see virtual infrastructure, but you want to skip minimum. So let me run some commands and show you. That would be better. Let's put it. So I'll say Ansible on mhost 3. I want to run setup command, but I wanted to use gather underscore subset. And here maybe I want it to gather the information about network. See why we have to use become option. If you wanted to convert the other side user into pseudo user, then you have to use hyphen hyphen become. When you use become, it will try to execute that command as a pseudo user. So in this case, I don't need become because we already have root access, so no need to convert it into root. Probably it will try to stress on network related things more, right? All TCP and UDP related information, right? Your MAC address, all the other things it might try to tell you. IPv4 addresses, what is the MAC address, what is the adapter name, and more details about your networking, it will try to print it out. Same way, if you go with something called hardware, so it might try to collect hardware information. Anyway, we are working on a virtual machine, so whatever information we get is related to virtual machine. On a physical machine, if you run this information, it might be more important. So it is trying to get all the hardware related information. What are the types we are having, size, disk's name, total partition, where it is mounted, what is the swap memory, real memory, entire system detail it might try to gather, right? Or same way you can say collect information virtual. So anyway, we are working on a virtual machine. So you say hardware or virtual, it is going to get similar information to you, right? So anyway, here it might give you that what is the virtualization we are using. So it says we are working with VirtualBox. All right. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to display all facts except network, for example. So if you want to hide one particular facts and present all the facts, then you can pass the variable that don't display. Exclamation means not. Do not display network, display anything else. So what I'll do, I'll go with this thing and here I'll say exclamation network. So don't say network and display everything, right? So you see it is telling you that it is an error. You know why it is an error? Because whenever you are using an exclamation, this special character, you need to use single quote instead of dual quote. So I need to use single quote and then I need to mention something what you are not interested in. So I'll say exclamation network. Except network detail, it is going to print all the other informations, right? So it won't be collecting network detail. You won't find any network related options over here. All right, fine. Right, same way you can ask it to print only virtual and hide minimum, something like that. Now this is a set of subset what it is collecting. Now if you wanted to go with a what I can say specific variable like I have shown you with grep command, right? So grep will only target that specific line. I want to see Ansible devices and everything inside it. So I'm going to target a specific variable and see the details about that specific variable, what we have done in the playbook, right? So here I'm doing with a command called filter. Filter will target a specific variable name like grep command. So let me go for it. So I'm going to repeat this command, but instead of gather subset, I'll go with filter, right? Filter equals to whatever variable we have, Ansible underscore devices, right? So you see it is going to target all the devices information and print it. The same thing we have done in the playbook. We targeted Ansible devices. Then you can say dot SDA, then you can say partition, then you can go. The same filtering you can do over here. Or maybe I wanted to go for Ansible LVM to check do I have any LVMs created on that. So as we have not created LVM, you won't get any output. So it says there are no LVs, there are no PVs, there are no VGs. Maybe you wanted to see Ansible underscore OS underscore family to check whether this particular machine is Red Hat, SUSE, or Ubuntu, or which one. So you see, it is showing you Ansible OS family is Red Hat. Like that, many other options you can do. Starting thing, if you don't know, you can say star name, or you can say Ansible underscore star family. Whatever you are looking for, it is going to print it out. See more details about this particular thing you can gather from docsansible.com. This is going to give you more detail about it. Now we have a very important task, and this task cannot be finished in today's session, I am sure. There are lots of things we have to do. So we'll stop the session here, guys. At least go through this thing. And I wanted to take a class tomorrow as well, guys, because in the past 2 days I have just missed one class. One day I did not took the class, so I want to compensate it on tomorrow. What do you say, guys? Will you be available tomorrow? Uh, Let me know, guys. Will you be available? Okay, Hola. Great. Thank you so very much. I'll just inform the other persons also to attend the class. So tomorrow we are going to do a very great and important task. This is a real-time stuff, what we do while building an Ansible master server. Up till now, we are directly dealing with root. See, in real scenarios, you won't be given root access. Very limited people, we will give root access, right? So what we need to do through Ansible, I'm going to configure all my remote machines to give me sudo access for a user called Ansible user. Same time, same time, same time. No change in the timing. So same time we'll meet. Okay, guys, so we'll stop the session here. Let's meet up tomorrow and let's finish these important tasks of setting up uh, Ansible master node and all the clients in order to work with Ansible user. So we are going to see very important concepts like grouping, making child of group, and We'll also try to work with changing configurations on remote machine using Ansible, right? And making SSH trust relationship again with Ansible. And we'll also create remote repositories, right? All the clients will create a repo file. How? Again, with the help of Ansible. So from one machine, we will pass these parameters to all the clients. Okay. So probably we'll stop this session here, guys. Let's meet up tomorrow and finish this important task. See you tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much.